So, folks, there is, as many of you know, an election going on in Wisconsin, the state Supreme Court election. Uh, the election day is April 1st. However, on April 1st, there are a number of other elections around the country. Specifically, there is one taking place in Florida's 6th Congressional District. This special election is in fact contested, meaning that the Republican in the race has to contend with the fact that he's running against a Democrat. And well, let's check in on that race, shall we? How's that going? This is from Florida Politics. Republican Randy Fine holds an edge ahead of a special election for Congress, which, wow, that doesn't sound great. What do you mean this is good news? Ho, 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 viewer. Ho, ho, indeed. Let me read on. Republican Randy Fine holds an edge ahead of the special election for Congress, but his lead over Democrat Josh Weil falls within the polls' margin of error despite the heavy GOP tilt of Florida's 6th Congressional District. That's according to a survey done for Florida Politics by St. Pete Polls ahead of the Tuesday special election to succeed former U.S. Representative Mike Waltz, who you may be familiar due to other ongoing events in politics, namely the entire Signalgate controversy that is currently unfolding. That's that guy who created that Signal group chat. He left his congressional seat open in order to accept a position in the Trump administration. Now that open seat appears to be a little bit more vulnerable than folks might have reckoned with. So how close is this? The results of the St. Pete polls show Fine winning just over 48% of the vote, while Weil received just over 44%. The pollsters have a margin of error of 4.9%, meaning that Joshua Weil is within the margin of error for the poll. So that is incredibly good. That poll was conducted on March 22nd. It is now March 26th. And there are still 5 days until that special election takes place. Okay? And Democrats are so incredibly angry. And not only that, Republicans are getting a little bit nervous, we'll say. Why do I say that? Well, Randy Fine, in this particular election, resigned from the Florida Senate in order to run in this congressional district. So if he loses, there's just an empty seat in the Florida Senate as well. Like that's another opportunity to combat the Republican Party. Okay? Some analysts suggest that Trump may hold an emergency rally to protect Fine. I mean, he can certainly try that, though I don't think that it will work. I think that the anger on the ground is massive. Now, one of the things I'm going to say here is that if you're wondering, like, hey, how much support does Joshua Weil have in this district? Well, the fundraising reports from March 12th of this month have Joshua Weil raising over $1.3 million going into the final stretch of the race, while Randy Fine had $93,000. So it's kind of angling in a way to be, well, pretty positive. However, that is not to say y'all should be complacent about this race, because I'm guessing a number of you are like, oh, well, what's this Joshua Wheel guy about? Well, here are his stance on the issues: control border immigration, fix the healthcare system, improve schools, protect our environment, reset economy for workers. And out of curiosity, I, of course, clicked on this one because it's in the news lately. Oh, my God. Oh, God. My internet is really angry with me. There we go. There we go. We need to secure our border. We also need to bring order to our immigration system. However, in solving both these problems, we must address some more fundamental issues about what it means to be an American. The United States has traditionally relied upon immigration as a great source of pride, as well as being a useful economic tool by providing a necessary labor force. Why are foreign people still coming to America? For the same reason they've always come. They're trying to build a better life for their families. In New York Harbor, on the Statue of Liberty, we proclaim to the world, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free." But today, many people seem to forget this invitation when they talk about closing our borders or deporting millions of people. Some people immigrating to the United States want freedom and opportunity to improve their situation. Immigrants have a fierce sense of pride and want to earn their fair share of the American dream. They are not looking for a handout. Many people are also fleeing political or ethnic persecution inherent in their original homelands. America offers people all around the world hope because we are the shining city on a hill, as President Reagan once called us. We are the restaurant club that everyone wants to get into. Why would we want to tarnish that image by throwing people out without due process or a fair hearing? In Florida, immigration is a more important issue than in some other parts of the United States because we literally are on the border. Thus, we also see a disproportionate number of people who attempt to reach our shores illegally. But we have a process for dealing with this. The problem is that our legal immigration system is overwhelmed. We do not have enough resources or people to process normal immigrations into the United States. The solution is not to assume that everyone who enters our country is a criminal or treat them as such. The United States immigration system needs to be comprehensively reformed. People should be able to enter our country legally if they follow the process of obtaining worker permits or pursue citizenship. We also need to better fund U.S. Customs and Border Patrol so that it can do its job of protecting us from real criminals such as drug runners, who, by the way, are usually not immigrants. Lastly, there's been discussion lately that when a person is born here, he or she might not be a citizen if their parents emigrated illegally from a foreign country. But the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution is very clear. If you are born in the United States, you are an American citizen. And if the parents are not following the legal processes of immigration, perhaps we should show them how and what they need to do instead of assuming they are criminals or trying to get freebies for their children. When a rich person from a foreign country visits America, we always assume they are tourists on vacation. Why is this kind of hospitality not extended to everyone who emigrates to the US? As a nation of immigrants, it seems silly to me when people talk about clearing all of them out. Other than the original Native Americans, we are all descendants of immigrants. Should we all go back to where we came from? The United States is the great melting pot of cultures from all around the world because we both invite and welcome immigrants into our nation. And in the end, we are a better and stronger country because of the diversity that immigrants bring to our society when they leave their homes to seek their lives here. He's coming in red hot. Yeah, right? And like, is that statement perfect? No, there are a few things that are not great. Okay? So that's kind of where we're at with that. He seems to be a good egg with pretty decent takes on these issues. And more importantly, he would help us swing the House. You know, he would get us that much closer to, Democrats having control of the House of Representatives. Okay? And that's super goddamn important right now because we need at least one chamber. We need at least one chamber of a Congress to actually start maybe taking control of our country. So, what can you do to help Joshua Wheel get into office? What can you do? Number one, you can head on over to this page. This is Joshua Wheel for Congressional District 6. These are a bunch of different ways you can get involved as curated by his campaign. There are virtual days of action. There are door knocking opportunities. And not only that, there are a lot of virtual call-ins for Joshua Wheel. Okay? So if you want to participate in this, if you want to call in and make a difference by getting people out to vote next week on Tuesday, this is where you need to go. Mobilize.us/Joshua Wheel for Congressional District 6. All right, I'm going to put that link in all of the chats. And I want you guys to participate, okay? I want you guys to go and phone bank for this because it's important. As important as it is to also phone bank for Susan Crawford, we also need to make sure we're doing everything we can when there is an opportunity that is this close. This close? Y'all, we need to get involved. These are your marching orders from me, your riverboat captain. You need to go. You need to go and phone bank. And if you live in Florida, you need to be knocking doors in Congressional District 6. All right? We can make a difference. If you guys get involved here, you can literally turn out hundreds, maybe even with the number of people watching, thousands of voters in Florida to turn out and make a difference in this race. It's super, super important. So let's get to work. Now, folks, I have to take a call. I will be right back. Don't you guys go anywhere.